There's my big boy tomatoes. I've got watermelon in the tray there, cucumber, I've got a cucumber over the back and a little mini bell pepper. More big boy tomatoes. Butternut squash doing really nicely. Another big boy. Then in these big pots I've got cucumbers at the back. My first early potatoes in a pot, just starting to flower, so they're doing well. Middle of May. I think they'll be ready for harvesting at the end of this month. Over here I've got beefsteak tomatoes from Asda that I saved the seed of. And here we've got marigolds. Bit late I suppose, but I found some seeds so I thought I'd plant them. Some cornflower, they're a bit late. I had one lot which didn't come to anything. With the funny spring we had, they shut up and then the cold snap we had just seemed to wipe them out. I did have them out and they did so well to start. I had them out in a cold frame and then obviously got lulled into a false sense of spring and come in and just wiped them out. A few spring onions coming along there. I've got a few peas coming on. This is my third planting of peas. This year for the first time I'm trying to stagger them. This, I don't know what is in that pot. I've lost the label, as I usually do. And I've got some beetroots I've sown there for success and sowing, and I've got the first lot out in the main bed. So let's see what we got out here. In this tub, there we go, there. We've got, it's called Spring Fountain. I can't remember what its proper name is. But it's supposed to grow very, very tall, about 10 foot or something. And it's evergreen. So once it gets going, it should be there forever. Can't remember what that is. I do tend to lose my labels, that's the trouble. The strawberry bed over the back there, and now I've got that little bed with a cloth on it over there. I'm gonna put me butternut squashes and planting them in there, then laying them up on the grass. I'm going to try that. I've got very little room, but I do like to cram it full. This is also first earlies in there in that tub. Because they've been planted and grown outside, they're obviously a bit behind the ones in the greenhouse, but that's what you want, isn't it? A bit of succession. This thyme in that pot has come all the way through the winter outside. I'm quite pleased with that. And this plant on the stick is a pomegranate which has survived the winter fine. I'm doing an experiment. I've got some strawberries undercover here, been undercover all winter, and I'm just seeing if they produce. They're exactly the same as the ones in the open there. I just want to see if they produce fruit any earlier than out in the open. It's just a little experiment. I've got my cuttings I took last year. I'm not sure what they are. I think they're pelargoniums, but don't hold me to it. I lost the, you know, my homemade cold frame, which at the moment has got cornflower in it, doing really well. Got a Bramley apple on the back of the greenhouse there. As you can see, doing an experiment with it. Can't remember what I've got in that pot. and I don't know what's in that little pot. They look good, so I thought I'd sow them. Here's my second early potatoes starting to come up, and further along here some more second earlies. In the back there, my fruit trees. I think they're, I'm not sure. They're in the back of the greenhouse. This one's doing really fabulous. Quite pleased with this. Let's go back round here. See the blossom on there, I think that's a cherry. Got my compost bin there. And my holly. This is my junk area. You've got to have a junk area, haven't you? So all I know is I've got 3 types of apple trees, but I've lost all my labels. I had a James Grieve, which is going to be one of them. That's the Bramley over there. I had a James Grieve and something else I can't remember. Oh, there's a label on there. There's actually a label on that one. That's a pear, I remember that. I had a Williams pear and some other pear. So I think those 2 are pears. And then those 2 are apples, and that's the Bramley. So we'll see. I've just planted my runner beans. I do like a tunnel so that I can walk through, don't lose garden space, and it's easier for me to pick with my mobility issues and everything. I find year on year I'm gradually building these beds up to make, as I get worse I can still reach it. I've got my purple flowering broccoli, purple flowering broccoli down here. There we go, get it in. So I'm just waiting for the frost to stop, and now go in, probably up the back, because they won't mind a bit more shade, will they? I've got my peas, just a few peas in there. As I say, I've got some more in the greenhouse to follow on. In the bottles I've got corn on the cob, and my broad beans, I'm quite pleased with them. They are doing really well. And amongst them, elephant garlic. In this cloth I've cut the top off and sown carrots in there, so I thought that was an ideal container to stop the carrot root fly, although I have planted a resistant variety. I can't read that from here, can't remember what it is. I've got some beetroot under this net, and I've got the successional sowings in the greenhouse. And we've had radishes all through the winter. There's some more there ready for picking. All through the winter under a cloth, brilliant. So I shall continue with that. And here's my onion bed. Now I haven't labelled them, well, why would I? I've got some labelled, I'll just put them in at the back. That's a successional sowing. I think I've got ordinary onions in the front. I sowed from seed in the autumn, kept in the greenhouse and planted out in the spring. And at the back there I've just transplanted giant onions. I think they're mammoth onions. There's white ones and red ones. So, and I've got my gooseberries, red gooseberries at the back, which I'm trying another experiment. I'm trying to do them like a cordon, so that they take up less room in the plot, and I don't have to bend down so much. So I'm trying all different things, and some work, some don't. We'll see. In the back there, we've got a couple of hazelnut trees. I've got a holly in the corner, and berberis. I'm growing a berberis type hedge along here because the cats do like to come over there, and I don't like cats in my garden. I've got 2 types of rhubarb. Now, oh, there's a label there. Hang on, there's a label. Oh, what is it? Champagne. That is champagne, and that is where I split it last autumn. And that one is an autumn harvesting one that I can't read from here. No, I can't read that from here. I haven't got my glasses on. I've got the odd Berberis through the middle there to try and keep the cats out, but hey, you know, cats. My raspberry canes. This is my fruit cage plot, so I've got my fruit cage rolled up against the fence from last year, and as I need it I'll bring it out and cane it up. I've got Loch Ness blackberries here, which I managed to split off and grow on a shoot in the autumn, so I've now got 2 from 1, and you've got a good overview from here of the whole plot. So now we'll go on and go round to see the side garden, which is my rockery pond garden, I call it. So I hope I don't shake this too much, but I've got an Acer palmatum, is it Popurium, something like that, which I grew from really tiny, and that's survived in the greenhouse over winter, and it's now getting the benefits of this sunshine, looking good. So excuse me as I undo this gate. You'll be greeted by my giant hedgehog. Good morning, Miss Hedgehog. This is my pond. We've just recently done this, so it's a bit a bit glaring. Once the plants and that grow up around it, it'll blend it in a bit more. My Mr. Man. So this is my rockery and waterfall. That waterfall is run off a solar panel on top of the greenhouse. You can see how the sun comes onto the greenhouse on the other side of it, and there's a solar panel providing electricity to a bilge pump from a boat, and that's supplying my water for nothing. I have all these solar powered lights which I put bigger batteries in, and they last the whole night and more, never let me down all through the winter, and doing a good job. They make it look really pretty of a night, which you don't really see too much of now because obviously the lights are getting shorter and shorter. Azaleas, I think they're azaleas. They could be miniature rhododendrons, but that's my wife's side of things, so I'm not really too up on them. And now we've got the main front garden. Basically got pansies, I can't remember, their purple blotch or something, well that's right, isn't it? And then wallflowers in the middle with a purple Berberis backing, which will go into a nice hedge, I hope. And so there's the front garden. Now this bit over here, you can see from the shadow that this corner is pretty much for the whole day in shade. So this is my last bit to, it's tired us through the couple of years we've been doing these gardens, but now I want to concentrate on this corner to see what I can do better in terms of, now that I know what the weather does for the whole year, I need some shade loving, something high for the back, working down to the front, trying to keep within the colour scheme. So that's my